What's up, guys? It's Chris here to give my prediction for this weekend's highly anticipated rematch between what may have been, at least in my opinion, was last year's Fight of the Year in boxing, Sergio Martinez against Paul Williams. The funny thing is about this fight, to me, it seems like it happened so much longer ago, but I was actually watching the replay of it on HBO On Demand last night and this morning, and it hasn't even been a full year. It seems like it's been a lot longer because negotiations for it have been going on for seemingly forever, but it's not even been a full year when this rematch takes place. So that's a good thing. At least we're getting a rematch sooner than later. And in between, these guys have, both had a fight. So it's not like they just took a whole year off, which has happened in the cases of some fighters. As for the first fight, like I said, I just watched it again last night and this morning. Still a great fight. Still a close fight. Still hard to score. Watching it again, I don't even remember who I picked the first time or who I thought I'd won the first time. I'd have to go back and check out the video I did on it. But rewatching it, I'd go with the draw or possibly favor Sergio Martinez. Williams won the first fight by majority decision. Not to say that the decision was egregious by any means, except for the fact that, as we all know by now, one scorecard from one Pierre Benoist was 119-109 for Paul Williams. Everyone, I think, universally agreed that scorecard was a joke. The funny thing is I didn't notice at the time, probably because I was so invested in the fight. But now watching it, when that scorecard is announced, even the crowd in attendance was like, whoa. They were even taken aback, along with the announcers. So it's good to see that there was a good educational crowd there that really understood that there was no way that scorecard legitimately reflected what the action took place inside the ring. As for this fight, the first one, Sergio Martinez, was a bit of a late replacement, filling in for Kelly Pavlik. So he didn't have a full training camp. Now, for his, part, Paul Williams didn't have a full time to strategize for an opponent like Sergio Martinez, whose style is very different than Kelly Pavlik's, to say the least. But it was still a close fight, Paul Williams came forward. He was the guy moving forward, the aggressor. Sergio Martinez, the counterpuncher. But Paul Williams landed more punches, I believe. But Sergio Martinez landed the more, I don't want to say cleaner. They always say the cleaner, more effective. The bigger punches. Early on in the fight, he landed a lot of big right hooks. And then later in the fight, he started landing some big left hooks flush to Williams' face. They both got knockdowns in the first round. But I actually thought that Williams took most of the punches relatively well later in the fight. Because he got hit with some good hooks, both right and lefts. But took him pretty well. Didn't go down, even though he got hit with quite a few flush shots. Williams, before I even talk about this fight, in regards to the last fight, in the interim since that fight, Williams was supposed to fight Kelly Pavlik again. It never happened. Coincidentally enough, Sergio Martinez would go on to fight Kelly Pavlik in a very good fight. That was a fight where early Sergio was winning. Then Kelly Pavlik started coming on. It looked like he was going to take over. And then I think it was 7th, 8th round, Sergio Martinez flipped the switch back again and, reestablished control and dominated the rest of that fight, winning the middleweight title, which is at stake in this fight, at a catchweight of 158, albeit. As for Paul Williams, he's only had one fight since then as well, the fight against Kermit Cintron, which, hard to say. Early on, he actually was getting countered and caught pretty good. Cintron appeared to be getting the better of the fight while it lasted. It only went 4 rounds because, as everyone saw, Cintron, went outside the ring and, I don't know, he said he hurt his neck or his head and the fight was stopped and Paul got a decision. Actually, a lot of people thought Kermit Cintron should have got the decision even the way the fight ended, that he had won the majority of the fight to that point. Mute point at this point. Did I just say point like 3 times? Anyways, doesn't really matter at this point. But Paul Williams didn't look all that great in that fight, if nothing else. As for this fight, why it's at 158, that's something Paul Williams' side requested. Not sure why. I guess it's because it's much... actually, I don't know why. And I don't even know why Sergio Martinez would agree to that. He's the middleweight champion. If you want my title, you should have to come up and fight at 160. I'm the champion, not you. But he agreed to it. I don't think weight's going to be an issue for either guy. even though Martinez weighed like 178 a couple weeks ago or like a month ago. I don't think it's going to be a problem here. I noticed in the first fight, Williams, like I said, is the aggressor. He lunges a lot with some of his shots, though. He needs to use his jab more. His jab's very effective. I mean, he's such a tall, rangy fighter. He needs to use that more. But he overextends himself at times with the right hand. And that's what leaves him open for the counters. The counter hooks, particularly the left, or maybe the right as well. But when he overreaches, that leaves Sergio Martinez in the perfect position to catch him, which he did quite a bit in the first fight. As for Sergio, I think his biggest advantage in this fight is going to be having a full training camp. I think at times in the original fight, he got tired down the stretch at times. And Paul Williams, that's credit to him because he put a lot of pressure on him. But Martinez probably didn't have, the conditioning he would if he had a full training camp. So I think he'll have more success here. As regards to that, I think he'll need to take less moments off to, kind of conserve his energy. As for Williams, just, do what you do. I think the judges could play a big role in this fight. What they favor, if they favor the guy coming forward, the more active fighter, if they favor the guy that lands, the cleaner, would appear to be the more effective punches. So, you could see. I expect the fight somewhat similar to the first one. Hard to say if it's going to be as good. Sometimes rematches are always good. Oftentimes they're not. If the first fight is great, it's kind of a hit or miss. But based on the styles of these guys and the caliber of the opponent, just the caliber of fighters that they are, I don't see any way that it can't be another great fight, if not quite reaching the level of the first one. Who do I favor in the fight? I'm going to favor Sergio Martinez. Like I said, I think he's going to have full-time training camp. And honestly, I think he looked much better in each of their previous fights. Like I said, Williams didn't look all that good against Cinturon. And Sergio Martinez did look really impressive, taking out Kelly Pavlik. So, Williams, what can he do better than he did in the first fight? It's hard to say. He had a lot of success in there. He did what he wanted to do for the most part. But still, it was a close fight. I think Sergio has more room for improvement in this rematch, and I think he'll be able to improve slightly. Plus, he's got the confidence of being the champion. There's something to be said for that. It's funny because when you watch Martinez fight, it almost seems, if you didn't know, that he's a very arrogant fighter. He definitely fights with an air of confidence, if not over arrogance. And I'm not referring to his hands down on his side. I'm just referring to his demeanor at times. He just looks like a confident guy in there. So expect it to go to a decision. I think it'll go to a decision. I don't think the guy's going to get stopped, although it's always a possibility. You never know. But I think Sergio's going to win this fight. Hopefully, whoever wins, just the rightful guy gets the decision. I don't want to see any 119, 109 scorecards if it's a close fight. But I see a close fight, 7-5, 7 rounds to 5, something like that. Which, if that's the case, it could go either way once again, or it could even end up being a draw. You never know. But at the end of the day, or the night, as it would be, I'm going to favor Sergio Martinez to win this by a decision. Be back to talk about this fight? No, I won't. But I will be talking about it Sunday on the Science of Minds radio show. I also did a preview for it on this past weekend show if you want to go back and listen to that. And, some predictions from some other fight fans, as well as SureDog.com's Jordan Breen. We broke this fight down. And, of course, we'll be talking about it this Sunday as well, or at least I will with whoever my co-host will be this week. I will put a link to in the information part of the video, as usual, to the show, as well as a link to my Twitter. That's it for now. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the fight. Who do you think won the first fight? Who do you think is going to win the rematch? And why, of course. And do you think this fight will be as good as the first fight? Not as good? Or do you think it could be even better? That's it for now. Till next time, guys. I'm out.